Welcome, everyone. I'm Jackie McClanagan. This is really great that you're listening to this webinar. Today, we're going to talk about how to create a great 5-minute speech. Now, the 5-minute speech is one of the most important tools in the public speaker's toolkit, and too many speakers rely on their lengthier presentations to get their message across or even make the sale, and it doesn't have to be this way. The most important thing that talented speakers know, the best speakers out there truly understand the power of the 5-minute speech. And executing it properly is like money in the bank all day long. Now, knowing that this has a lot of power, knowing that you need a 5-minute speech, and executing it effectively are two very different things entirely. And for those of you listening, I am throwing a surprise twist into the regular webinar format. I'm going to give you all of the information that you need to crush your 5-minute speech in only 5 minutes. So I'm going to demonstrate how to do this. And not only that, I'm going to be giving you a personal invitation for some speaking opportunities at the end, so you'll want to stick around. So go on ahead and get yourself a pen and paper because we're going to get this thing started. And this is going to be your 5-minute webinar on how to crush your 5-minute speech. So the first thing you're going to need to do is you're going to need to have a plan. And this sounds really obvious, but the first thing in your plan is you're going to choose your topic. This topic should either focus on solving a problem or lead to a point or moral. The next thing you're going to do is you want to get to the essence of your topic. What are the most important must-have elements? And you don't want to overcomplicate things with too many unnecessary details. I mean, really, don't be redundant. Do not go over and over and over things. Don't do this. I reiterate. See, there's an example of what not to do. So, choosing your topic can be difficult, and the best suggestion that I have for you is to start with the end in mind. And that means, what is your overall objective for giving the speech? If it's to make a sale, is it to make a point, or even to be more confident? It's not the reason that matters, but it matters that you know the reason for you giving this 5-minute presentation. The next thing you need to know what to do to crush your 5-minute speech is to create it. And that means you're going to write out all of the speech, but you're not going to script it. So that means you're going to put some succinct bullet points down. Clean, succinct bullet points will give you your information and keep you on track while you're creating this. But to create the valuable bullet points, you essentially need to know the structure. So that's what I'm going to show you right now. This here is a rock solid structure to create your 5-minute speech. First of all, you have to have a captivating opener. What is the first thing that you're going to say? What's the first words that are going to come out of your mouth? And they're important. People are looking at you very closely in those first minutes, so don't waste them on housekeeping items such as, the washrooms are over here, or my name is blah, blah, blah. The next thing you're going to do is, since you've already decided on your topic and your message, you're going to write down a few bullet points that you'll share with your audience. You must get to the essence of these tips. What are the most important items that you need to share to get your message across? And the third thing, all good speakers are good storytellers. So now you must have a short story, an anecdote, or an example that will showcase those bullet points and really back them up. This connects the audience to you in a really powerful way. Then you're going to have a clear call to action. You've already determined you've already determined what your speech is about earlier, and you know the reason why you're giving it. So your offer, you could be making an offer, you could be giving a powerful takeaway, but you need to have something that you're going to ask the audience to do. For example, it could be, here is my offer, here is my free thing, book a consultation, here's a powerful takeaway that I'd like you to have. Think about this next time you X. And finally, tie it all in a bow. So you're going to want to bring your point back around from where it came from. So if you opened up with a joke or if you opened up with an example, you want to tie that back in together. It's really clean and your audience will really feel like there's no loose ends. So that's the structure. But the next thing you're going to need to do is you're going to need to deliver it. So be memorable. Don't forget to add, and this is really important to me, add your personality into your presentations. It doesn't matter how long they are. Don't be stiff and cerebral, just be you. And we all have different styles and different personalities, so just because somebody likes to use humor and you like to be very professional on point, these are great. They're your personality, and as long as that's true to you, go for it. And here is Use some pattern interrupt techniques. That really works too. So for an example, in your 5-minute speech, ask a powerful question, get people to look at something in the room. You want to bring them back into awareness and out of autopilot. You're going to keep your pace when you're delivering fast, but you don't want to rush. You do not need to rush. Talk like yourself. But the most important thing that any speaking professional needs to know, this is the best tip I ever give anyone when you're delivering your 5-minute presentation or any other length, is to really give a shit about your audience. You want to make sure that you're there to serve. As a speaker, you're up there delivering something that's important to you, that you know will offer value to your audience, so care about them. And finally, you need to practice. So you need to obviously practice before you perform. That means get out there in front of a mirror, talk to your family, doesn't matter. But practice can only take you so far. The true test of your material is, how is it going to react with your audience? You know, we have these brilliant ideas in our mind. We write this stuff that we think is awesome, but it needs to have that mirror of other human beings in front of us for us to really know how effective it is. So, I mean, we've all thought we had this brilliant idea in our heads and on paper, and then when we presented it in front of our tribe, the result was not quite as we had expected. I'll give you an example. I have this one joke that I use all the time, and every time I do, it's crickets, pure silence. No one laughs. And if my mother's in the audience, she might even shake her head or outright say, "That's not funny." However, I keep saying the same joke. And what I've learned, and why I do this, is I've learned that the follow-up joke, the things that I need to say after, are brilliant. They work perfect. I get the big laugh. So I only started with a joke. I wrote it down. If I'd not seen how it was with the humans, then I wouldn't have known how it was failing, and I wouldn't know how to rectify that. So I keep it in. It's awesome. And had I not been practicing my speech often, it would not have emerged. So the main takeaway that I would like for you to have with your 5-minute speech is that you need to find ways to get out there and to practice it often. And I know that this is not always an easy task. There's one stage, there's one speaker who gets the spot, and there's a whole bunch of speakers who want it. So how can you get more people on stage? Well, here's my offer to you. I've created something called the Pure Potential Speakers Retreat. We do it twice a year, once in Arizona, once in California. And we have amazing keynotes who've built 7-figure speaking businesses. We have opportunities for you to get on stage in front of our audience and give your 5-minute presentation. What we do is we then have our professional video team video that for you so that you have this for your sizzle reel. We also have professional photographers there who take headshots. We give you all of the bits and pieces that you need to really keep moving your speaking business forward. We give you training, tips, tools. It's awesome. I'm really proud of it. It's one of my very best events. And the cost of this is $197, but I'm going to give you some free tickets for listening to my webinar today. So I'm going to give you them completely free if you can get yourself down to Arizona. The only thing I ask is for a seat deposit of $197. What that means is we'll just take the seat deposit so that I can ensure that I have enough staff and material on site. But when you get to the event, we will give you that money back. So it's completely free. In conclusion, do you see what I did there? Mwahaha. I basically gave you your 5-minute presentation using all of the structures that I was telling you about. I gave you the opener. I had bullet points. I put in some stories. I tried to be funny. I hope you thought I was funny. I was having a good time. I'm confident that my call to action was clear, and I think you might really want to consider taking me up on my offer. I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any questions about the webinar, about your 5-minute speech, I wanted to do this within that 5 minutes so that I could give you an example of how much information you can actually convey and how you can really do this and improve your toolkit, your speaker's toolkit. I also think that you need to have a 1, a 2, and a 3-minute presentation, and I will do more webinars on those soon. Thank you so much for listening, and I will see you next time.